Hey there, thanks for stopping by again. So today's video is going to be dedicated to sheaths, more specifically tactical sheaths. This is something I get really passionate about.
I get so passionate about it. I get so passionate about it.
And what I mean by that is tactical, when you use the word tactical sheaths, tactical movements, anything tactical, people are, I think, misinforming you. Maybe they're trying their best, but it's out of their element. I think tactical is something that you really got to put a lot of thought into. So when you're talking about the tactical aspect of sheaths, this is what this video is going to be about, and this is the information I want to give you in regards to that, to help you make a better decision on what is tactical and what is not. Some people can be trying to sell a product to you, and they're not going to give you all the information. They want to try to sell you their product, so they can even be deceitful. They can even be lying to you about the product. There's a lot that we watch in Hollywood, on TV, in the movies, and people can use that to influence you to buy their product when it's not reality. So again, I get passionate about trying to give you the truth, especially when you're being lied to. So I'm not attacking anybody, but I'm just wanting you to have as much information as I can at least give you, so that when you're trying to get a sheath, get a knife, because it can be the deciding factor to whether you're even going to buy the knife. I want you to have all that information possible to make the best decision you can. So I have a few sheaths here in front of me, a good variety of the different styles going around. And I want you to have a closer look at these and see if they're going to be something that is tactical, something that you can use for everyday carry, and in maybe a combat scenario situation. But we're going to look at each one individually, and we're going to put them to the test, and hopefully that helps out everybody that's thinking about sheaths and thinking about the next knife they want to buy. So let's take a closer look, will we? So before I get into these sheaths here, I quickly wanted to talk about a sheath that is going around the community. There's some knife throwers that have been in the community for a long time, so they have a lot of influence on you and newbies. And they're referring to this sheath as tactical. It looks a little bit like this. I don't own it, but it looks very similar, as silly as this looks. And it straps to your leg, and it has a loop here for attachment to your belt buckle. It wobbles. It's not easily concealed. It's not concealable. It draws a lot of attention. It's not tactical. I believe they're referring to it as a tactical sheath because you can quick draw. You can get to these knives fast and easy and throw them. But when it comes to a tactical sheath, fast draw, in my mind, I don't think about that. I don't apply it to my sheath and what is my priority in a sheath. When you are in an opportunity, or when you're forced into an opportunity where you have to fast draw, you probably aren't going to be throwing. You're going to be using it as a hand-to-hand combat because you're surprised, you have to react fast. And if you're given distance in a surprise moment, you don't have to fast draw. You don't have to full and throw. And again, if someone's running at you, you might want to pull and throw, but also have a knife in hand ready to defend yourself when they get to you. So fast draw really is a last priority when it comes to knife throwing. I'm not training to, in a tactical situation, throw from the sheath, because you're limiting accuracy, power. You could be just throwing away your knife at that point. So that might be why they're calling this type of sheath a tactical sheath, but it's just not practical. It's not tactical. I wanted to get that out of the way. Like a cop, they put their hand on their weapon to assert threat. They pull their weapon out to assert more threat. So if you're in a situation that threat is approaching, you sense threat, then you're going to be ready. You're not going to need to quick draw and throw. And now let's talk about some other sheaths here that are a little bit more practical. We'll start with the less practical, less expensive ones in the front here. You can get these types of sheaths for under $100, and it comes with 3 knives. They're all nylon here and leather here. Nylon stretches more. These types of sheaths here, you can hold 2, even 3 in each slot. If you do, then it stretches it and you're not going to be able to hold 1. But it does give you an opportunity to put 2 in there. And if you're training to do a fast draw, no reload attack, this is a pretty effective sheath for that. I don't recommend no reloading in a tactical situation, but it is possible from some of the throwers out there. They make it look really realistic and effective. But I'm not going to train that way. I'm going to train to throw 1 knife. So even these types of sheaths here, where they're holding 3, I don't necessarily need that in my tactical application to knife throwing. But you can, and it can be effective. It gives you a little bit more weapons and more opportunity. So these sheaths here are very similar. These ones are detached. This is attached. I like the detached ones. You can position them around your body different, so you don't know what opportunity you're in, situation you're in, where you're restricted to getting to one side. You might only be able to get to one leg, one left or right. You don't know if is going to be as easily accessible than the other. So these can be positioned around your body differently. You can get many of them. You can put 2 on each side, 1 on the back, 1 in the boot, 1 in your bag, 1 on your vest, tactical vest. I like that aspect of these. It just has a belt loop though, so it can fling as you're moving and move around, which isn't cool in my aspect. Like, that's not cool when it comes to a tactical sheath. You want it secured to your body and not limiting. So when you're moving around, it is attached to you. It's just like a part of your body, and you don't want it kind of getting in the way or losing it, because it's when you drag along the ground, it loosens up and it can get attached or stuck to a tree or a branch or something and fall out or restrict you from even moving, trap you. So a sheath like this, it's pretty neat. It has 4 belt loops, so you can get it attached to your belt. You can add another strap to the bottom and attach it to your leg as well to give you that, it's not bulky, it's not getting in the way, and it's really attached. It's secure. It's not going anywhere. It has some flaps here so that you can move and they won't fall out. Gives you more ability. I would always have a set to train and a set for real time, so that it's not stretched out. You don't have wear and tear on it. It's at its full capability. So something like these sheaths where they stretch and they can get some wear and tear a little bit easier in these little straps here, or just where the knife is held. Get 2 sets and have 1 to practice with, beat it up, get used to it, see what it's capable of doing, what it's not, and have another set ready to go. This one here brings up another situation where I think people are being influenced through Hollywood and movies to think it's tactical when it's not. There's sheaths out there that strap to your arm. It's more like a ninja. Ninjas, in my mind, no longer are a reality. They're more with the past. Can ninjas be effective? Yeah, in their element, in their arena, absolutely. In war, not so much. You can train as a ninja and have fun, and if you're going to do that, go ahead. Sky's the limit. But it's not practical in my situation that I present myself with. This isn't concealed, draws a lot of attention, restricts your movement. You can't get to these knives. I'm sure you can think of a way that it could be effective, like just the fact that you can have this on your arm and out of the way. You might not need to get to this, but if you're throwing knives from the waist, you at least have a knife in an area that is safe, and if you need it in another situation, it's there because you've already given up some knives or lost some or whatever. But this is a cool sheath. Again, it's concealed really easy. It's strapped to your body. It's tight. It kind of hits some tactical elements that I think about. This one here, again, similar. Holds 3 knives. You're not really going to get much more like these, where you can hold maybe up to 6, maybe up to 9 knives. Straps to your leg, ties there to the belt The color, not so much. I like black, I like camo. I like, well, you're not going to see this on me. I'm not going to draw any attention. It's almost going to blend into my body, to my atmosphere, my environment. Something like this might stick out more. Some colors on some sheaths out there, just not tactical. You want it to not be shiny. You want it to be as discreet as possible, as concealed as possible, but still effective in being able to get to it. So not too bad. You can just flip the buckle open and draw it, and you got 3 knives at the ready. One thing about these sheaths that I didn't mention that is really neat, tactical, they're quiet when you pull the knife out. You don't want to draw any attention to yourself. You might be hiding. You might, you don't want to use your pistol to give up your position, so you might want to eliminate an enemy quietly to give yourself some more time to get away, or just to get out of a situation. So being able to pull your knives out quietly, to me, is a tactical thing you should think about when it comes to a sheath. Some custom sheaths I have here are lined with like a fabric, so that when you pull them out of the Clydex, very, very, very quiet. And that was something I wanted when it came to custom sheaths that I made. Again, I'm not looking for a fast draw, but Clydex makes noise when you pull them out. I didn't want that. So you can ask custom makers to line it with a fabric, and it makes it a little bit more quiet. That's a tactical element. You want to be able to pull your knife from your sheath. It's a knife, remember, it's not a gun. You're not going to be making noise with a knife necessarily. So you can pull it out quietly, bonus. Again, these sheaths here are neat because you can adjust the belt buckle. Like, these have what they have, and that's it. You can attach different clips. So here's a 360 rotatory clip. Like, it's from Tops. I attached it to this sheath, and it works great. I can stick it inside my pants and clip it onto my belt and position it any which angle way I want, so that I get to it the way I train to get to it. The utility clips, very good, very secure, but just one way. You can probably put it this way, but it might kind of dangle a little bit with the weight, but it's a good clip as well. This one's very good. It clips to your belt, and it's secured in there. It's not going to go anywhere. You can get into situations where this button might get pressed and it will come loose. So be aware of that. That's the only fault I think I would say with this one, as well as you can only carry it one way. I'd like sheaths like this too for tactical purposes, because I don't necessarily need to carry a bunch of knives on me. 2 knives, 3 knives max, and 3 knives in different locations of my body, not 3 knives all together. So you can put this, in different areas, one in the pocket, one inside your belt, one on the outside of your belt, one in your boot, one on your tactical vest. So having a single sheath carry is tactical, and in how I think tactical, it's very effective. So you can get to them quick. They're not going anywhere. Custom sheaths are very well made. When you ask for certain things, you can say, I want the knife to be really retained in the sheath. I don't want it to make noise when it's in there. I want it to come out quiet, and I don't want to lose it if I'm running around, crawling on the ground. So very, very good to look to get your sheath lined with a fabric. That's very, very effective in my opinion. This isn't. So you can look at the noise. Just that amount of noise can be enough to give up your location. You don't want that. You don't want room for error. You want what's going on in your mind to happen, what you're thinking to be executed. Something like this will make you have to think quicker on the fly, because now the person saw you. Now what are you going to do, right? So that's why I kind of have this one. I don't think it's so tactical. But in comparison to the ones that have the liner, you can see the difference. Like, quietness is something I think about. What else can I say about these ones? Wear and tear, they're going to hold up a lot better than the fabric. You can see some fade on the camo here, so keep that in mind. One for training, one for real life application. These are pretty good though. Again, you don't need to have 3 on you. You can have 1, put them in different areas for different uses. And then lastly, so similar to what I exposed at the beginning, straps, belt loop, but this one here, a lot more tactical. Going to strap to your leg. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to get in the way. I put this together from like an army surplus store, a military base. There's pieces of equipment that you can put together. So it's all Velcro together. I can take the straps out, replace something else. Different buckles up here I can add, different loops. So it's completely customizable. Not meant for knives, but when I saw it, I said, you know what? I can fit my knives in there. So certain knives might be able to slide through, which is neat because it's snug in there. It's not going anywhere, but you might need to pull out your knife from this way. You can give yourself an opportunity to throw a military half spin from the bottom. You can pull it out from the top and have your index ready for no spin. Certain ways, like with a handle, if you're going to have it, it's not going to be able to get through. So it's really well retained that way with certain knives. But I can get this out and throw it from the top. So I do like this one. Now, I don't think I would wear this in a war situation. I think I would get a couple knives on me, maybe like a boot knife and one knife that I can attach to my vest, like a bayonet or kind of a knife like these. But something like this is tactical, but it's comparing the one that's considered tactical because it's very similar, but one's tactical and one's not. So that's why I wanted to bring this into the video to show you what you can do with this. You're not limited. Like, you can move around, you can crawl around the ground, you can swim, you can climb, you can hide. You're not restricted with this on you. You're holding up to 2 knives, which I think is more than enough for knife throwers. You can put 2 different styles like I have here. You can put 2 of the same. Again, it's completely customizable. And the color, like, it's really going to blend in with what you're wearing, your environment, and that concealed, that camouflage, that has to be considered when you're purchasing a tactical sheath. So here you go. It's a few sheaths. Gives you a little bit more information on the tactical elements to a sheath. I will go and put these to the test. I will show you a few of these and how it looks, how you can move around with them, and what is a tactical situation and how you might use them. And we'll go from there. But I think that gives you a good idea of what's going around, what's on the market, things that you're being lied to, things from Hollywood that's considered tactical, but it's just not reality. And yeah, not attacking anybody. I'm just wanting you all to have the right information.
I get so passionate about it.
Remember, fast draw, not so much should be considered. If you have to go fast draw, you're probably going to be hand-to-hand combat with the knife anyways. Are you going to need to throw 6 knives at somebody? Probably not even given an opportunity to do that. You're probably given 1 shot with a knife to be thrown, if that. Maybe someone's charging you, throw 1, grab another to defend yourself. That's why I like having knives, different parts of your body for different uses. So, yep, that kind of sums this up. Now let's take a look at these being applied. All right, so there's a difference between being dressed tactically for combat war and being dressed for your everyday carry, casual dress, walking around your community, going to the grocery store, doing your regular day-to-day routines. I'm not too worried about concealing my weapons right now because I'm in a combat dress. I have weapons on me, grenades, and magazines, assault rifles, pistols, knives. I'm not worried about people knowing I'm ready to go. But when you're dressed for your everyday purpose, that's when you're going to worry about being concealed a little bit more. So there's a tactical aspect, two different ones, combat and then your everyday carry. For both, you're going to be dressed differently, but you're going to be thinking about how comfortable it feels on you. Is it restricting you from doing anything? And I mean anything. Can you still move? Can you kick? Can you get into some fights and not be worried about how you're moving, how you're restricted from what you're wearing, what equipment you're carrying on you? And I mean that for anything. When it comes to tactical thinking, you need to put a lot of thought into it. And I mean a lot of thought, research. Try to put yourself into situations. If you're not exposed to a combat world, then maybe this isn't something you can talk about. There's a lot of knife throwers out there, competition ones that have won a lot of world competitions, what have you, but that doesn't give them the credit to talk about it, knife throwing in a combat situation. Not at all. They might not have been exposed to any type of combat. They don't think properly when it comes to that type of stuff. So those that have been exposed to it, have been trained for it, then they have more capability of thinking about it properly. And what I'm talking about is, so there's a true story here. There's a new member headed overseas for war, and it's their first time out, so this could have been something to do with the rookie nerves, but they were out in patrol in a convoy, driving down the road, threats everywhere, and they couldn't hold it anymore. They had to go. Nature called, and they had to go. They looked at their leader and they said, "You got to stop. I got to get out, and I got to do it." The whole convoy had to stop for one member to go out and do his business. Are you able to get to your, can you get your clothes off? Can you drop your pants and do what you got to do quick and fast? Is anything restricting you from doing that? Can you drop your pants, go number 2 or number 1? This is the type of thinking that most people might not think about because they're not exposed to that world. But that's something you have to put your mind into. So when you think about everything, I mean literally think about everything. So you want to be comfortable. You don't want yourself restricted in any way, shape, or form. You want to move as if you're dressed naked. You don't want to be restricted. So I mean, a lot of kicking. Say you can't get your weapons, are you able to fight? Do all the movements you can do, jump, swim, crawl for a while. Nothing can be perfect, but you definitely can put everything to the test. Put the time into it. Do the thinking, do the testing. It doesn't happen overnight. When you're talking tactical, you really want to put the time into it so that you're ready and you don't put others at harm or threat. So I have a vest on, so you can put one knife in here. That's normally your bayonet. You're going to have magazine pouches, grenade pouches, your canteen. You're going to have other pouches for maybe first aid, more ammunition. But it doesn't give you much to work with in a combat situation for knives other than in the front. So neck knives, you're not going to be able to get to that stuff. It's good to have on if you feel comfortable with it. It's not digging into your body parts. You don't know what position you're going to be in for how long because you can't move. Is that thing digging into your side? Is it going to cause an injury? Is everything able to get to it? If knives are placed up, I can't pull that knife out, so I have it off to the side. This one's very easy to get to. I like it in the front. It's not in the way of crouching. It doesn't dig into any of my body parts, and I can really get to it with my dominant arm very quick and fast and very easy. The back I can't see. If I have to put it back, I don't want to hurt myself putting it back because I can't see. I wouldn't, again, have these on me, but it just gives you an idea of that type of style and how you want it to be camouflaged, tactical, not wobbling, not affecting your running. Nothing's going anywhere. These are sitting right in the same spot they started, right? But my pistol would probably be there. Maybe this would be inside, under my pants. You know, you get captured, things are hidden. You do the best you can, but you want to be comfortable. You don't want to get hurt, so you want to be at your best with everything on you. If that makes sense. So there you have it. Again, this is dressed more for combat. This is, you know, different tactical applications for this type of dress. When it comes to, you know, casual everyday carry, like I said, you're going to be looking at way different, thinking differently tactically. So let's have some more fun with this. There you have it. All my knives accounted for.